Lovely.
Okay, there
Yes.
we go. All right. So let's see. So we're
I'm
going.
j- I'm just going to hide my self view. Yeah. Yeah. This
Hey,
feels better.
you do what you want to do, man. You do what
Okay.
you want. Let's see. We have okay, so we've got one, two, three. Pick a number, my friend, between
Mm-hmm.
1 and 19.
1 and 19. 1 and 19. 18.
Sweet. This comes from Michael,
Mm-hmm.
and it's denying the deniable is our suggestion. Denying the deniable. All right.
Mm-hmm.
All
What
right.
was the suggestion again?
Denying the deniable.
Okay.
Uh, yeah. Great. Thanks, Michael.
Sounds like a double negative, but yeah,
Oh,
can run with it.
oh, it for sure is. Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Can you hear me, Jay?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah, totally.
Hey, as long as we just hey, listen, before we go in there, we just keep our
Mm-hmm.
stories, we keep our stories straight, all right? I mean,
Right.
they're gonna look for holes and they're gonna try and exploit those. So let's just make sure our stories are straight. They really have just circumstantial evidence. I think we're gonna be in and out in like 5 minutes. I don't think they have anything.
Uh,
Yeah.
is it? I thought they would like go on for like 2, 3 hours, like same
No,
room. So,
no, no, I think just relax. I think everything is going to be fine. Although then I say relax, I'm like, that's the worst thing when I'm tense. The worst thing I want to hear is relax. So yeah. Like just they're going to sniff out any chance they can to catch us with our stories that aren't matching. So as long as our stories match, we're fine.
our stories should match.
Yes, yes, our story. Exactly. Our stories should match. Why?
That sounds a little difficult to me, because we haven't run through our stories together, have we?
No. Wait, maybe that's why they put us in this room. Is there still maybe they're probably watching us. They're probably listening.
So should we whisper?
I think that'll be good. I think if we whisper,
Okay.
yeah. Because it's strange they put us in this room and said, we'll be right back. Make sure you have your stories straight. So part of me is thinking, I don't know if I can trust them, but I think whispering is good.
Right.
Yeah.
I can hear you clearly.
Okay, well, that's a good sign. Can you hear me?
Okay. Yeah, I
Okay.
can.
Okay.
Like, I feel really close to you now.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel
What did you eat for breakfast?
oh, well, I'm on this garlic kick. So I eat a lot of garlic and cumin. You want to know cumin is it's like an underrated spice. So I had that. It's just garlic and then I sprinkle cumin on it.
Not cool.
Oh shit.
Not cool.
Oh, it's a fad
Then
diet. It's a fad diet. And I'm like, that will help me lose weight. And it's like, no, what helps me lose weight is not that.
it's good. It's good for your heart,
Yeah.
but not for your breath.
It's bad, right?
And also, they would think that we went to different places to eat.
Right. Sorry. Sorry.
It's okay.
I smell it. I smell it bouncing off your face and hitting me. I smell it.
Yeah. Yeah.
You smell
It's
good.
like, yeah.
Yeah. Here, let me guess what you had. Blow on me. It's like cinnamon. Is it porridge? I feel like
Go on.
is it porridge with some cinnamon?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm usually really good at this. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, there's not a extra. Oh, that's good. I mean, that smells delicious.
It does, because I like my morning oats.
Yeah. I mean,
Like overnight oats with cinnamon.
and you just let it sit in the fridge.
Yes. Like bananas.
Oh,
Then flax seeds.
I used to never be able to eat bananas when I was a kid. I didn't like the texture. Now I love bananas, but I can't. On this garlic and cumin diet. Right.
Garlic and cumin. Lovely. I feel that we have switched places with each other. Like you have started liking Indian diet, and I have gone all American on you.
Yeah. Wow. I guess we've kind of rubbed off on each other.
Yeah. Like there's a sync, right?
Yeah.
It's synced.
Yeah. It's like we're right there. Okay. So what would you, okay, so I got it. I got to think of what you would have said when I first met you. Then if I get that story straight, then you just think of what I would have said. And then what was that noise? Did you hear that?
No. It's just me placing my glasses in such a way that it sounds natural.
Yeah. Oh my God, great. I thought like, oh, that was a bell or a cat or something, but no, okay, good. Yeah, that's you again. Okay. I guess now I'm just a little nervous.
It's okay. Uh, yeah, I know that banana, hearing that I eat banana
Yeah.
makes you nervous. It's okay.
Okay.
I ate banana because it gave me gas.
I
And
mean,
I want to be able to get an out
yeah,
in that room.
yeah,
Like,
you hate gas.
yeah, we are the same.
Is it hot?
Yeah.
Did they turn the heat up in here? I feel a lot. I feel like it's gotten warmer. What's the
It's
what?
was there garlic? Was there garlic in my porridge? Is that what it's making?
God, it might be because mom said she just put in something special in today. Maybe that was it. Maybe it was a garlic thing.
Yeah,
You are sweating a lot.
fuck. Sorry.
Oh,
That's just my physiology. That's just my.
oh, so this is normal. Okay.
This is very no. This is normal. Like, hope they're not doing the lie detector test inside, because I would fuck it up. I would fuck it up.
That's the first thing they do. They left you. You had gone over to the corner. When they left, they said, "Now sit here, get your story straight. We're going to come back and give you the lie detector." Like that's the first thing they're going to do is they're going to take us in to give the lie detector.
Give me some of those tissues you carry,
You,
like the wet wipes.
here. You what? All right. They're calling me in. I'll be right back. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I got good news and bad news. No, you can keep listening. I got good news and bad. Which do you want first, the good news or the bad news?
There isn't a way that you can do both together, right? Like, give me the good news first.
No, you're right. I'm going to do both together. Okay. I'm going to do both together. The good bad news isn't. You're not staying or walking today home together with me, one of us?
Great. Awesome. Oh, they're calling me.
Yeah, I'm gonna. Yeah.
So, no, no, together, separate. Mm, I don't know him. No, I know him, but we just met in that. No, I'm not lying. I'm not lying. This is just me. I sweat.
Coming round.
I fucked up the machine.
Wait, you broke the machine?
Yeah.
That's that's inadmissible. Let's get out of here.
They can't corroborate what we said because I was so sweating so much. I like that you're celebrating so much. I'm like,
It comes in handy. It comes in handy.
those bananas was a good touch for me, I think.
And I do smell the gas. Nice wood.
Block your nose.
Yeah.
See, I had to counter your bad breath with something.
I mean, deny the deniable.
Yes.
Scene.
Oh god.
There. That was so fun. Oh. Oh my god. Like I love any chance to move.
Yeah.
I'm always a fan of taking that chance. And I love like leaving and then something happened and coming back. And I think it's so fun to play.
It is. It is. Absolutely. Like that let that gap
Yeah.
like moves forward the story so much in like so many different ways. Yeah, totally.
And
It's so
I just love watching the person, somebody just sit and stew. I love that. I love like there's nobody else there. You're just watching this person process that information. What got you into improv? Like, how did you get started? What made you take a class or do a show or however you got started? Wait, it's coming.
hello.
Yeah,
Can you hear
perfect.
me? Yeah.
So how did you get started?
It's just oh damn. Okay. Okay, I think I'm still yeah. Yes. Sorry. Can you ask again, Jay? Sorry, I missed that. Yeah.
Yeah, like what made you take a class and how did you get started? How did you find improv? How did you get started? What made you take a class or do a show?
Yeah. So my first improv show was 2017. It was like uh, in Bangalore. I saw ICB and ICM perform. I think it was like a stadium, 400 people packed. I was in the third row, I remember, and it
What?
was yeah. And it was the show just before they IC Improv Comedy Bangalore were traveling to Chicago. So
Oh yeah.
they were fundraising for that.
Yep.
And that was my first improv show. And 6 months, I think it was just sitting in my subconscious. So I'm part of this alumni group. So I did a fellowship called Teach for India. So we meet at as an alum. Uh, and one of the cast members from Improv Comedy Bangalore, Madhu, did
Yeah.
like a 45-minute improv like a pro bono improv thing for us, and it stuck to me. Like I pleaded that, please, I want to do a workshop with the thing. And luckily, like in Jan, they had like a string of workshops, so I did every one of them.
Wow.
Yeah. So that was my first. Jan 2018 was my first foray into improv.
And then you're just like, yep, I love this. I want to do this. I want to continue. Or was there a moment that you were like, ooh, I like it. I'm nervous. I'm scared. Like where did you fall after those first few workshops?
After the first few workshops, it's like, okay, I'm pumped. I think I'm enjoying the randomness that is coming out of it. Like not having done anything on stage for almost like starting from college, I think,
Ah,
till I was almost turning 30 that year. I was like, yes, I like this and I want to use this. So I used to work with a lot of educators back then in the social sector. And I was like, okay, I can use this to facilitate my sessions.
yes.
That was my in. And I was like, okay, I was planning to use this improv in my training sessions, whatever. But uh, I remember I was in a so Jonathan Pitts had come. I was traveling at that point in time, and one I just randomly took his advanced scene work course,
Yeah.
where I was the only one who had just 3 months of improv experience. Everyone else was 2 plus 3 years or whoever. Uh, like all these people, right? And all over from India, or in at least South India, I remember. And yeah, it was kind of the beginning of those 3 months, that January to March in 2018, that got me into. And of course, such lovely group of people in Bangalore, uh, like amazing community that supported through there at that point. Stuck with them uh, till about August, when
Oh,
I had to leave the city. But those were the intense, like 6, 7 months of intense improv that I was doing over the weekends, like full time work and improv. It was crazy intense.
do you think that that workshop with Pitts, with Jonathan, do you think
Mm.
that that gave you confidence to be like, oh, I don't have as much experience, but I can still do this with folks? Like, do you feel like
It
that
meshed with my head. It
in
meshed with my head a little bit, in a
what
way,
way?
because I was doing my scene partner, who was a lady, who's probably experienced in improv and did a lot of live improv shows. I was in front of her, and I was supposed to be like this person who was holding a camera and taking a picture, and I was supposed to be honest with her. And the side coaching almost happened like 3, 4 times, and I was sweating. And he was like, Pitts was like, I'm going to move away, and you have to say what is true to you. And I couldn't. Finally, I said, "Oh, you're the most beautiful person I have ever met." And that kind of intimacy, which I
Ah,
that point gave me, it was like unnerving at a point, because it for so many years I couldn't process it, but I know that was a critical moment for me.
mm,
Master, performing with people, volunteering for shows, just being around the group of people who love improv so much is
yeah.
what rubbed off on me more than anything else, I guess. Yeah.
If do you think turning this is a question that I something I reflect on in my life. Do you think turning 30 had any impact? Because for me, when I turned 30, it was a bigger deal than I thought. I was kind of coming out of my 20s and then I hit 30. Like
Hmm.
it was a real big change for me. Do you think it was meant to be that around 30 is when you started doing this?
I think it was at that point, like both my I didn't know where I was going professionally, my personal lives, like just been like a year out of a really amazing relationship. And yeah, and I think I held on to it like it was my log in the sea, in a way.
Yeah.
uh, yeah, it was, I think it was my defining, one of the most defining moments in for turning 30.
Yeah. I mean, it is, you're right. There's a very vulnerable space we get into sometimes. And when I was a younger person, I don't know if I was able to access or process or be in that space of being vulnerable. And to me, vulnerable could be just sitting on a stage with someone, not saying anything would make me very vulnerable. I was like, I can't do this. I need to say something. And so the older I got, the more I was able to be okay with that vulnerability. And that helped with people around me too. Like very few of us can be vulnerable in a space that doesn't feel safe. So I think that
Yeah.
most of us need to have that feeling of like, it's safe to do this here. It's safe to explore. It's safe to get in that vulnerable space. And then I think that just opens up your work in other areas of your life, not just improv.
Yeah, totally. And I so agree, because when I left Bangalore, I was the saddest because I knew I had to leave,
Yeah.
but I was sad because so many other reasons. But like this tribe, this group of people that I was leaving behind, and after that, I kept coming back. Right, like I kept telling myself every 3 months I'll come do a workshop with people coming here. So it so happens that most of these workshops happen in cities, but where I stay, like cities like Bangalore, Bombay, Delhi. But in Goa, something like Goa, I know that I tried to build a community and failed, and did not do well. So I think like I put myself out here in a way which was more vulnerable. I,
Yes.
and I missed that there, right?
Yeah.
I wanted to recreate what was Bangalore in Goa, but I couldn't. Yeah, and it was important.
It's funny you say that. In I don't mean funny like humorous, but I connect with that because I spent a lot of my life trying to recreate something instead of like, no, this isn't that space. This is a different space. And I'm like,
Yeah.
but this other space, like I wasn't able for a long time just to hold on to the memory of what a great time it was. I wanted to carry that with me. And I would be in places where people are like, well, we don't want to do that. We want to do this other stuff. And I'm like, no, you got to do this thing. And they're like, okay, we're not doing that thing. And for a little bit of my life, I missed out on what the beauty in that situation was. And then once I finally came to terms with the acceptance, and that's the hard thing, is like
Yeah.
accepting this is what's happening. I'm in this space now. And that translated to the virtual space we're in now, where it's like, people don't want to accept that, well, you improvise this way. It's like, well, you can wait for the pandemic to end, or you can accept this is a viable opportunity to then create with people you might not have had a chance to create with before. But for a long time I'd be like, this, they should improvise this way, and that's not the way you do it. And I had people in my life who would say to me like, well, they don't have to improvise that way. And I'm like, no, you don't get
Hmm.
it. They're like, no, we get it. Why don't you improvise their way? And I was like, oh, that's why I got into this, is I like seeing how people did their thing. So let me revisit that. And that took a long time to get to the point of like, I'm accepting this is the space we're in, and I'm going to have as much fun with it as possible.
Yeah. Yeah. That expect acceptance for me in terms of I am part of a larger community, and
Yeah.
I can draw from those people, and I can enjoy what other people are doing without not attaching so much importance to my own stuff is is
Yeah.
is is yet fully to sink in for me. But yeah, but over a period of time, I know that it is possible. It is something that I look forward to every day.
And you've done something that there are many people who haven't been brave enough to try, which is starting your own thing there. And it's not, a lot of times I look at when I failure, it's like, oh, I'm a failure. It's like, I'm not a failure. It's like, I had the courage to do this thing that nobody else is trying to do. And if I have those expectations, I rarely achieve those. And so I have to, and I continue to change my perspective for me to be like, what's the success here? The success is not what I thought it was going to be. The success is, oh, I'm able to do X, Y. I did something not even knowing that was something that was going to fulfill me going into this project. And so the fact you did that, regardless of what happens, man, the fact that you're like, I'm going to, even if you just tried one workshop, is a huge success. And we don't, I was talking to a friend of mine yesterday about this. It's like, we don't, as artists, we don't talk about the positives or bring in that. We're always thinking about how we could do better. I think just as humans, but definitely as artists, we don't sit and go, wait a minute, that was a success. It wasn't what I expected, but it still was a success.
Absolutely. And that feeling of lack pushed me to do my first devised play here in Goa. Like workshop, okay, there's no improv. What else can I do? How else can I do it? And yeah, so discovering poetry happened in 2019. Discovering theater for the first time happened. So I feel I think there's a saying, I don't know, there's a saying, right? Like the absence makes your heart grow fonder.
Yes.
And
Yes.
that's what how it came together for me during the pandemic, because I was like, now there is no prerequisite. Like the screen has lifted. I'm
Right.
like, okay. I was doing, so I was working 14 hours a day in April, and also coming back in the evening doing these jams, workshops, like crazy stuff. Uh, not as much as other people who are doing. Like there are people who like stay up all night and do it, but not
Yeah.
as crazy as them. But for me, it was important to like come back and uh, play with those people who I like, and
Yeah.
and also to find new people
Yeah.
who I enjoy being around. Yeah, even
And
though if it's like a virtual screen.
well, and think about what is the only way we can do this honestly is virtually. The
Yeah,
only, like, unless you have a lot of money and can fly around the world and fly even, or like travel or time, you know what I mean? Like, this is the way we can do it is, hey, do you got 10 minutes? You got 20 minutes? Let's meet in Zoom. We don't even have to like stream it. Like, let's just meet and play. I've got that chunk of time. You do as well. For people who you have played with before that you haven't had a chance to because of the pandemic, for people you
yeah,
just met, like, this is such a good advantage, and it's not a replacement for what we lost. It's a gain for what we
yeah,
didn't know that we had, even though you and I could have done this before. There's no way,
yeah.
like, we could have gone
Right.
online or done this. We could have done it over the phone and done a phone call. We could have written letter. Like, there's all ways we could have done it. And this kind of forced us to go, okay, you've got this or nothing, man. What are you going to do? And some
Yeah,
people were able to do it for, you saw them all the time online. And some people, like, they did that for a bit, they got burned out, they came back. I think that is similar to like when we were in person. There were people that would do, myself included, I used to do shows. I would do 6 7 shows a week. Every weekend I do 2 shows Friday, 2 shows Saturday. I do a couple shows during the week at different theaters, and I got burned out. I was like, I can't, I have no friends outside of people I perform with. So I've lost touch with, so I had to reevaluate and go, I'm going to step away for a bit and now find a balance. And I think we're just in a constant state of always finding balance. Um,
yeah.
so just find your balance, right? That's all we got to do.
Right. So I
Um,
did it, the Zoom fatigue did strike me also. Like November, after doing like this block, like this narrative improv, 2 shows of narrative improv directed, like it was an ensemble cast, and I was like, I think I cannot handle this
yeah.
anymore, and it was not a great time for me for 3 4 months. I didn't do any improv little from November to February end. No improv. Like I couldn't even get myself to say to like be in that space.
Yes.
So, but also something bigger uh, happened for me is I accepted, like in Jan, I accepted to myself that yeah, this is what I do want to do full time. and this is like, I want to be an artist, I want to perform, I want to
Wow.
do this, like, and it just hit me. It was uh s- yeah, I like, it was down in the dumps, and then something, like something big as this comes, and it's so difficult. And then again, for 3 4 months it took for me to accept it openly, about, to other people, to at least to tell to people that this is what
Yeah.
I'm trying to do, this is what I want to do. And though though I know that, how will I do it is still, like, shaping up. I don't
Yeah.
know what's the road I'm going to take exactly, but I know for sure I decided that, yeah, this is going to be my third career, however long it lasts.
It's such a vulnerable, but dude, the word of our session is vulnerable, because it's such a vulnerable space, because now you've accepted it in yourself. Now you're gearing up to tell people, which it would be different if people went, oh, that's, you're going to do that because you want to do that. Wonderful. I'm sure you'll be a success. But we have a lot of people in our lives who want to feel like they want to take care of us and care about us, and they're going to say it's a tough career. Like, they're going to give you all, they're going to they're going to, we say yuck your yum, they're going to dash.
Hmm.
And so you build up that armor to go into it, to
Yeah.
where you're like, I'm going to say this. And whenever people have tried to tell me, oh, it's hard or anything like that, thing I've learned recently is to say, like, yeah, it works for me. This works for me. And it's
Mm.
hard to argue when you say this works for me. And then you start realizing there are so many people who wish they could do what you're doing, who wish they say, I
Yes.
want it. And that's part, there's a competition and a jealousy element of it, where
Yeah.
they are not brave enough to step forward and say, that's what I want to do. So making that choice and saying to yourself, this is what I want to do, and surrounding yourself with people who accept that and who build that
Yeah.
up in you is such a huge part of it. And so, like, congratulations for making that determination. And you were just,
Thank you.
we had just talked, you were on a trip doing
Yes.
work.
Yeah.
What
And
were
it
you,
just
well,
happened out of the blue.
yes, what happened, how did it come about?
So I had, again, so I had done a small ad in Bangalore. So I call it the Karma Bhumi. It was received. It was for a digital payments app in
Yeah.
March end. It's so funny because every time I'm down in the dumps, I think I have been given these pushes, like these nudges,
Yes.
and March
Yes.
end was that. Uh, and the same agency came to me like a couple of weeks ago and said, okay, this is it. You might shoot here in India or Serbia. I'm like, okay, fine. I sent in my audition. Like, then a week back, they said, you're there, you're selected, and you have to leave. And I traveled. It was my first international trip in 11 years, and that too, like, for work.
Wow.
Uh, it was overwhelming for me. I think
Yeah.
it was I was really overcome by gratitude by all those people who, like my ability to be do this, right, follow what I want to do, is because of so many different factors, not one, but
Yeah.
because I stay at home with my parents. It's so counterintuitive for a 33-year-old man in India who's to stay at home with his parents. And I think there's so many factors, right? Like,
Yeah.
not one. So one incident was happened was like this creative agency person who wrote the ad. He came up to me. He's like, "Oh, you want to be a full-time actor? Are you going to go to drama school?" I'm like, "If I can gather money enough. If not, I'll workshop it." Right? And that's the first time I accepted that there might be something lacking. There might be something there. Like, okay, I was with people who perform for 30 years, someone
Yeah.
who has done a diploma in acting, someone who's
Yes.
from Colombia,
Yes.
and I'm like, okay, I'm here.
You you don't have to go to acting school. You're working.
Yeah.
And there are so many, there are so many different paths to get to where you're going to go. And some people,
Right.
like, they go to acting school and they don't ever work. And some people, it's
Mm.
like, no, you've already been working, and it's about those relationships and cultivating those relationships. So if you want to go to acting school, for sure, go for it. But if not, it's like you're starting to get your reel and your portfolio together, and you've got now people are seeing your face and they're going to say, like, get me him. Like, they're going to ask for you. Or what's great is at one point they're going to ask for a type like you because they can't afford you. They're going to say, like, we can't afford him. Get us. It happened. Yeah, it
Okay.
happened. But it's like
Yeah.
those little signs are I agree 100%. There are times where it's like, am I doing this right thing? Like, I had struggled with it right as the pandemic started. I had talked to somebody who was like, oh, we're looking for an in-house trainer full time for this company. And I was like, maybe that's what I should do. I've been doing this hustle for a long time. And then, like, that day, 3 people called for gigs. And I'm like, okay, that to me is more the sign of, like, when I'm not sure, these are little pushes by the universe to say you're on the right path. Don't give up.
Yeah.
It's not going to be a consistent thing, but you're going to be taken care of. And that is a
Right.
hard thing. It's a hard thing still for me to accept, but it's always, if I look at the past, it's always the case. And if I look at what you're doing, you're already working. So it's like
Yeah.
you've made the right decision to continue, because the universe is saying, we're going to keep putting you in these positions where you can work.
Yeah. And the great part is I really feel good about ensemble work. Like,
Yeah.
as part of the Indian Improv ensemble, like we're like 12 of like amazing people over 12 weeks. We did shows every week, and I think that's what like I will keep coming back to. I'm like,
Yeah.
whatever work I like, whatever this happens, it's okay if even if it's like a one time thing. I know what I like. I know
Yeah.
what I can bank on. What is yeah, what's true to me.
What
It's
fills you
that.
up? What fills you up?
Yeah. Yes.
Um,
Yes.
if if people want to follow you, get in touch with you, see, like, stuff you're doing or anything like that, like, what's the best way they can do that?
uh, Facebook, you can find me Rudra Iyer, and Insta is also that at the rate Rudra.Iyer. So that's simple. I'm at just these 2 places as of now. Yeah.
Perfect. Uh,
Thank you.
well, again, what a pleasure. And whether it's in person,
Thank you.
virtual, I can't wait to play with you again, my friend. Thank you for taking time out.
Thank you, Jay. It was beautiful speaking to you.
You
Thank you. Thank you for
too.
playing with me.
All right.
Yeah.
Best of luck. We'll talk soon.
Yes. Thank you. Bye bye.